Hey guys, it's Petey. I'm back. I'm sorry for another chatty video, black and white thing, but I got a line. I ordered another camera. I found one. It's the same. We'll call it the 5 series, what I originally ordered. And they sent me a 1 series. Here's your .03. What's that? You ordered a 5? Okay, yeah, we got a point zero, 0.0100 for you. Anyway, yeah, they gave me. This is it. Where is it? I try not to wear my glasses because of the glare, and then I'm blind when I make these things. So, yeah, this is the camera that they had sent me. It's a beautiful camera. It really is. It's heavy. It's much larger than this is what we were using the JVC Averio, which this one is a full HD, runs on 5 volts, and it's 1980 by 1280 resolution. And I was running this on the next. There's like low, medium low, medium high, and high definition. As far as what you pick for this. If you want to squeeze more time on your SD card, you can throttle down the quality of the footage. So I was running it at the second to the top tier because at the time that we bought this 32 gig card, it was expensive. Or at least for us it was. It was probably, like 24 bucks is what I remember paying for that card. Now, a 64 gig card is, you can get a SanDisk that's rated at a 10 for, and that's the throughput of the data, how fast the data can go on it. And you need that fast, you need that 10 for modern applications like HD video. You can get a 64 gig card for $10, a SanDisk, which is a decent brand. So this is the camera that's going back. It's got, this is the shoe. You pull that back, that's the shoe to pop stuff in. It's got the mic jack over here. Man, this is just such a great camera. The way it feels in your hands, and going through all the menus and seeing all the features, I would really recommend if you're looking to get something, one of these Vixia, Canon Vixia. They all have a headphone jack and an external mic jack. Some of them don't have the shoe. And stopping at the 500 model is where they stop with the hardware remote. And after that, there's some way where you can use Wi-Fi. If you have a Nokia device or Apple, you can maybe control the phone. And I think you can even see the image through your Wi-Fi. Now, that doesn't do me any good because I don't have a phone. And I was like, I don't have one of those effing things. They ruined our society. And then when it comes to the Digitech, the smart pedal, you had to have it. And there's certain things like you need one of these. Now, my wife does have a smartphone that's new. It goes on the internet and all that. So maybe we could figure something out. But I'm old-fashioned. I want a dedicated remote. I don't want to have her phone out and then the thing ringing or knock it over. I would rather have the plastic remote, and that's why I ordered the 5 series, which they sent me this 100. And I'll tell you, I set up a tripod and shot footage, and I brought one of these. This is like a little Bluetooth boombox.
Mini jam box.
And I got this for $2.99 at Goodwill, and they're like 50 bucks. It's not a cheap little thing. Anyway, I did the testing, and I could not believe what's this thing that I'm doing? The footage is unbelievable. Even setting it at the lowest setting, it blows away the Averio, the JVC. So I found a HFM52. It's a 5 series. The 500 was what I had ordered that they reneged and sent me the 100. I found 52. Now the difference between the 500 and the 52 is one thing, and that's internal memory. The 500 doesn't have any internal memory. The 52 has 32 gigs of internal memory. So I got a big ass shotgun mic. I got a, well, you know what? I don't even know if it's called the shotgun mic. It's like a John Holmes mic. And then I got a remote, and then I got a the connector for the power pack coming. So I'm going to be able to work all this stuff together. And I thought I'd show you guys, this is how we're powering the Avero. This is a candy dish. It's a little metal tin that I paid 50 cents for at Goodwill. So here are the terminals that come out that connect onto the battery. There's a red and a black terminal that connect onto a sealed lead acid battery. And then here is the fuse port. You can unscrew that and pull this fuse out of here. You can see there's a fuse holder in there. This is a block of aluminum that I removed out of a power supply from a computer. That's a heat sink, a section from inside a computer power supply. And then I have, it's kind of bolted down in there, and there's the voltage regulator. It's a 7805 fused up with a power switch here. And then there's just a regular 2.1 mil DC. That's like your regular pedal size output jack. So this sucker sits in a bag with the battery. Usually I'll have a 2-tier bag, or I'll put a piece of foam on top of it. And you just don't want to short, your battery terminals. Anyway, this thing will sit in a secondary bag with the battery in another compartment underneath it. Like they'll have these lunch boxes that are insulated. Well, I'll put foam around to make sure that battery can't wiggle, put it in there, and then there'll be a top section, and I'll have this in the top, and then we'll just have a cable coming out, going to the Avero. We turn this on and turn it off, and that way we're able to shoot for all day and not worry about these little $25 or whatever they cost lithium-ion batteries and plug it into the little charger and beep, beep. We charge the big battery, And then eventually those big batteries are going to die. And like this is one, this is one of my containers of lithium-ion 18650s. And this is the future. This is what's in a Tesla. The Tesla is full of these 18650s batteries. Now those you run, these are 18650 holder. I just got these in. I ordered a pair of them to replace what I had used when I built the powered mixer. We have a new setup. We upgraded for the band. So yeah, this is an 18650 holder by 3. This is an unsoldered one. If you get the ones pre-wired, I wouldn't recommend that because the wires that come they're like cat hair, we'll say, that you pull on it and they snap. So yeah, these come, you can just solder them up however you want. Parallel series, it doesn't matter. And those work really good for powering stuff. So that triple pack there will run around 12.5 volts, So I could just as soon put 4 triple packs in a thing, wire them all up in parallel, and then it would be, just more current. It would run longer. The voltage wouldn't double or anything. And then go ahead and run this off of that. So for the time being, like I said, we did get screwed and they sent me the wrong camera. But I ordered one which was from a pawn shop, and they had taken it in, and the battery was on the unit. The people that brought it in didn't bring any charging cables or anything, so they've never tested it. So they're selling it as 4 parts. So yeah, you can get these. They're sold as 4 parts. If you look, and if I called the place and talked to the guy, and they said they've never tested it. And it's a C-shaped power connector, so he's not lying. It's a weird proprietary plug on these Vixias, at least on the newer ones. I'm not sure on the 2. I think from the 3 up, they switched over, because the one that I have here had a regular plug. This is a Sony power pack, 8.4 volts, 1.7 amps, and I paid $99 at Goodwill for this, and it was just like this. It had, I needed my own power cable, but I cut this today and put this cable on here, which fits inside of the 100 that they sent me, and that charged up their battery. It charged up the battery and it ran the unit like you can see here it's on. So I was able to also make a remote pack, the same type of idea as this, which what I did was I had another box like this which had a 7809. This is a 7805, so it puts out 5 volts. The 7809 is the same thing, puts out 9 volts at 1.5 amp, and that's what this camcorder runs at. That 1.5 amp, it's using that. You know, the camcorder is a lot of draw. It's doing video, so that's why we want to use this big heatsink shield that we have here to absorb that heat, and it does get hot. I've actually had them shut down in the summer when it's super hot, and I have 2 of these, and I'll open the lids up, breathe them out, or I'll switch them off. But yeah, just so you don't think I'm crazy with the big giant heatsink, you need it. Anyway, I have a smaller, not smaller, larger, but it's in a smaller container. Doesn't have as big of a heatsink, so I'm not sure how that's going to do. Sunday we're going to take it out, and basically what I did, it's the same idea as this, but it's in a pill bottle. So it's got just a strip of metal tape on the back for a heatsink. And I took another cable that fit into the camera like this and wired that into another, like a pedal cable. Now pedals are reverse polarity, right? So I flip-flop that. And then when I finish the whole thing, I plug it in and I'll put a tester on it and make sure that I have the correct polarity. Because if you have this stuff flipped and you go plugging it in, smoke out. You'll smell puff, you know, it's not good. So you always want to have a partner with you, or just take your time. Don't get, you know, and test your stuff. That's how I could advise you to do it. Anyway, that's how I do all this. And again, I wanted to thank you guys. I had someone who just commented, Detroit Wrecker, welcome you to the channel. I'm sure you've been here before. It's great to have people comment. I really do appreciate that, and welcome you to my channel. It's wonderful. I couldn't be happier that you're here, and we'll have the new camcorder going. We're going to go to see a Chicago Anyway, the Chicago tribute band is playing in Burr Ridge, which is a real hoity-toity town. And they have a nice setup for live music. It's going to be a real wonderful, like low temperature, low humidity, like a cool Chicago evening. And Chicago with horns. Chicago experience with rock and roll with horns. They keep talking about the horns. So it's going to be ba-da-ba-ba. I went there. We've been there a couple times, you know, this Burr Ridge place to see live bands. And they'll have like some band with a girl singer, like, come on. But it's, you know, everybody sing along, you know, and it's all like people setting up tables with wine and cheese. Like, this is like mega loaded. It's all McMansions in that town, Burr Ridge. So these people are all trying to outdo each other with fancier wine and cheese and crackers and lawn footage. I come in there, here comes Petey, you know. And I'm looking around, I fell off the curb. It was some weird, not even a curb, it was just like an angle. And I just like tripped, and I went down so fucking hard. I hit my knee, I was bleeding, oh! And like an old lady came and helped me up. It was so embarrassing. And then it was the last show out of the whole season of music, summer and fall. And they came running, and they opened up, they had the first aid kit, and it was all sealed in plastic. They had no one out of all, you know, that here comes Speedy. And yeah, but I really messed myself up.
And you were completely sober.
Yeah, I was completely sober. I just one of those things where you misstep, you know. So I put on so much weight. I saw somebody, my old neighbor, and he does video. This is the guy, if you've really followed along, this is the guy who asked me if I could get him any unrefined plutonium for his time machine. This is the guy, Gary, who my brother moved him, and under his bed was solid ice cream packages because he would eat a whole half-gallon ice cream and then cram it under his bed, and it made a brick, a full solid thing. He was hiding it from his mom. And he was like 60 years old, this guy. And he lived with his mom, and she was like senile, like, you bastard. And they had, the house was piled up to the ceiling. They were hoarders. There was a little hallway. And I remember my brother said to him, what's in all these boxes? And he said, movie scripts. He writes movie scripts. So one of the movie scripts, I got a hold of, I worked with him, and I opened one up, and it was called Cartographers on the Loose. And it was about these map makers, and they find this discrepancy on this map, and basically all hell breaks loose. So this guy, Gary, was at the show last night. We saw a Pretenders tribute band. And it was the same guy playing guitar with the $10,000 rig, with the Strandberg, the Bluetooth 2 amp. That's what Carlos Santana uses. And he had the Bluetooth 2 effects loop, and then he had a Kemper foot effects. He had a Strandberg backup guitar, a Gibson 3 whatever old hollow body. And I'll tell you what, his tone was really lackluster. It really was. I've seen this guy a bunch of times, and when he played the Santana tribute, he was really into it, and he knew what he was doing, and he had more lead tones, and it was better. But for all that gear, and to just have like this straight, like substandard, like it just wasn't any good. Like, I made another video on this, and I don't know if I said it was good because I felt sorry for the guy, but we saw him in this Pretenders tribute band last night. This guy, they've got Pretenders, Talking Heads, Deacon Blues is Steely Dan, and what else? Progtopolis, some Genesis, and King Crimson and all that other stuff. There's something else too.
And then the Santana.
And the Santana. He's got 5 like big time cover bands, and all the people that play in these bands are like, they're from like the orchestra pits in Chicago. They're like professionally trained jazz bow types. They're not like beer drinking garage band musicians. The Green Teeth crew, as I call them. So yeah, these guys, this woman could really sing. They had the skinny model-esque blonde, and she could really sing. But she started doing that real vibrato, and like Chrissie Hynde, that's kind of like punk, isn't it? The Pretenders, wasn't it like Honeymoon Scott died from a heroin overdose? I mean, she like dated Sid Vicious, like, or well, not really. She was friends with him. But they were kind of a punk band. If you listen to it, it's got this rawness to it, and like she hung around with bikers and stuff. So it was like it just didn't work. They weren't rehearsed enough.
But
is
she
the
knew all the
thing,
words.
huh?
She knew all the words. She knew.
Oh, the woman was
to sing
excellent,
it.
but she with the vibrato thing that they do, that modern, and like some real like unbelievably deep vibrato. So yeah. New camera's coming soon. I'm going to shoot Sunday. I made that adapter cable. I had that 9-volt thing with the battery, 9-volt thing in the pill container, and I flip-flopped the cable with the connector that fits into here. So I tested it. I've got power running off of a deep cell, so I'm going to shoot tonight using the internal battery, shoot the Chicago Horn Band, and I'll get some footage, and maybe I'll upload some of that. I mostly just want to test the camera and hear what the sound kind of does, and that way I know what these things, like maybe this is something special and I shouldn't get rid of it and they go for cheap, but I at least want it while I've got it, is take it for a stroll and see what it does. And then Sunday we're going to do a remote jam day, so you'll see some music coming soon. And then we've got the real actual cameras coming in. Hopefully that's going to work, and then I got to start over because it's a different connector. And that connector I ordered from China. It's going to arrive September 11th through October 20th. So that always means it shows up October 22nd, 2 days after the thing. But you know what? I don't want to damn myself. I did that last time when I said wish me luck to DB about this. So I'm not wish me luck. This is all going to work awesome, and it's all coming tomorrow morning. All right, you guys. thank you so much and welcome to Detroit. It's great that you commented. I really do appreciate that, pal. I'll see you over at your channel soon.